Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about reports about the next generation 2024 Dodge Challenger, looking at the platform, and also the power plant, and all the specs and details of what we know so far about the future global medium engine inline-6 cylinder. That also includes another recent interview with Dodge CEO Tim Kuniskis, where he added bits and pieces of details of what's to come and what's not to come. There's nothing official from Dodge and no one has confirmed anything, but all the online Mopar and vehicle websites say this information comes from undisclosed, reliable sources, and there have been reports about this for quite some time, so it's very believable. I even made a video roughly 2 years ago talking about the future and how this global medium engine could make its way under the hood of the next generation Challenger. Usually when a topic like this sticks for a while and isn't shut down by the company, they end up having some truth to them in the future. Just look at the Ram 1500 TRX, which actually did release for a 2021 model year, 5 years after its concept debuted in 2016. Anyways, now let's move into the video and look at everything we know so far. First of all signs point to the current Dodge Charger and Challenger having 2 more years of life on their current platforms, through 2022 and 2023, before being replaced for the 2024 models. However, Dodge is absolutely serious about reinventing American muscle and changing the guard from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles. So first, as we know, the Dodge Hellcat models are gone after 2023. I did a whole video on the cancellation of those. Link will be in the top right corner if you want to learn all the details about that. But I will put some quotes on screen from Dodge CEO Tim Kuniskis from an interview he did at the end of the 2021 Los Angeles Auto Show with Motor Authority. So one of the main reasons for the cancellation is emissions regulations, as Dodge is paying compliance fines as the Hellcats are only rated for 13 city and 22 highway MPG. We also know about the 2-year plan called Never Lift, where Dodge is using an advent calendar with 24 garage doors for 24 months of muscle, opening one every time there is a new announcement. So one door will reveal the first electric muscle car concept in early 2022, another will unveil a plug-in hybrid Dodge to go into production by the end of 2022. There is a third significant vehicle in the works, and the last door will show off that electric muscle car at the end of 2023. As Kuniskis said, quote, "For 24 months we are feeding the beast," end quote. However, today's video is about trying to address and figure out what's going on with that next-gen Challenger. So we know for sure that the Hellcat is getting cancelled, and now Tim Kuniskis also said, quote, "These cars that you know today will go out of production by the time we get to 2024, end quote. He didn't give the exact date that they would be discontinued, and of course there will still be vehicles in the inventory on the dealer lots, but it really does look like Dodge will stop building the current lineup, and the Challenger will be replaced by a new vehicle on a new platform, likely the Stella Large platform. His comment is still a little vague, as he says, "the cars you know today," so I'm not sure if that refers to gas engines entirely, or if that might mean a few gas engines and some electric vehicles, or all engines would be at least a hybrid. When Kuniskis was asked if the new car would keep the Challenger nameplate, he would not say. Of course, I highly doubt that Dodge would stop producing these 2 classic muscle car names, as those are the only models they offer right now, along with the Durango, heavily focusing on performance and the muscular styling of their vehicles for the brand image. If they canceled both the names entirely, I think that would be downright stupid and strip Dodge of their bread and butter. But it does sound like the current generation of gas-powered muscle cars will be scrapped by 2024. I assume that the Charger and Challenger will continue with new electrified or hybrid versions on that upcoming Stella Large platform, but again, as of today, we don't know too much more than that. Right now, Kuniskis is just trying to please both those who want electric vehicles and those who can't stand them. He also said, quote, "I'm juggling knives because I've got to keep 2 different huge factions happy because at some point those 2 factions will converge. The problem is no one knows when they will converge. My job is to provide confidence over the next 24 months that we're going to do this," end quote. So that's a bit about the platform. I know it's not a lot, but at least it's something to grab onto. And now we can move on to talking about what engine is supposedly finding its way into that next-gen Challenger. Initial reports many years ago had said that FCA was planning on boosting the current base engine, which is the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, with single and twin turbocharged versions that were planned for 2015 originally. Those engines were supposed to make 370 and 420 horsepower, but size and power constraints apparently made them call it quits on that plan. I have to believe that they never wanted to introduce them at all, whether they were ready or not, as they would have taken out the 5.7 liter Hemi models entirely if they made similar or even more power with better fuel economy and less weight. And so it just made sense to wait until the end of the generation. Now the reports are saying that there will be a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine called the Global Medium-Sized Engine Turbocharged 6, or GME-T6 for short, with the codename Tornado. And the first car to receive this engine is likely going to be the next generation Dodge Challenger. That would be a very good publicity move to grab attention, and then it would find its way to any other vehicle on the platform, whether that be a Charger, Chrysler 300, or other future vehicles from Stellantis. So before talking about the 3-liter inline, we have to talk about the current 2-liter turbo Hurricane engine. Of course, the 3-liter will be based on the current global medium engines, which have been in production since 2016. There are 2 versions, one codenamed Giorgio, created by FCA Italy for the Alfa Romeo Giulia and Stelvio, and the other codenamed Hurricane by FCA USA for American vehicles that were made by Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge. They are 1.995 liters, so 2-liter turbocharged straight 4-cylinder engines with 270 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque in some of the Jeeps, like the Wrangler and Cherokee, and 280 horsepower and 306 pound-feet of torque in the North American Alfa Romeo Stelvio and Giulia. This 2-liter engine is fairly capable. As of 2021, it propels the Alfa Romeo Giulia sedan from 0 to 60 in between 5.4 to 5.6 seconds, and allows for a quarter mile of 14 to 14.2 seconds, with a top speed of 149 miles per hour. The Giulia does weigh between 3,650 to 3,700 pounds. So that means that this engine is already targeting the current 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, which of course is found in the base model Charger and Challenger. For comparison, the base Challenger V6 has 303 horsepower and 268 pound-feet of torque. To do a little bit better of a comparison between the Hurricane and the Pentastar and a Jeep, I have found some simultaneous testing done by Car and Driver. So the turbo engine is 55 pounds heavier, it loses 15 horsepower, but it gains 35 pound-feet of torque and has better gas mileage, making it more responsive and also able to hit peak power faster through the power band. Car and Driver tested a fully loaded 4-door Wrangler Sahara with the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. The Pentastar V6 did 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds, while the 2-liter turbo Hurricane did it in 6.5 seconds, so 3/10 faster. So if the Hurricane is already beating out the Pentastar, maybe the 3-liter turbo can challenge the 5.7-liter Hemi V8. More on that next. Now we can shift our attention to that engine. So Mopar Forum Allpar broke the news about this new inline-6 Tornado engine about 3 years ago. It was named after an airplane, a trend that Chrysler has been continuing for some time. Just to name a few examples, there's Hurricane, Hellcat, Apache, and more. This inline-6 has had some delays getting to production. Stellantis is trying to keep the engine length as small as possible for several reasons. One reason for that would be the possibility to use it in several of the 14 brands that fall under the Stellantis family, like Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler, but also some European-focused models like Alfa Romeo or DS, following other brands like BMW and Mercedes, who have made straight 6 engines a lot more common. The crankshaft also needs to be kept short if performance variants will be released down the road, so overall the engine needed more time to be engineered to fit into tighter spaces. This GME T6 Tornado looks to be aimed at replacing the 5.7-liter Hemi V8 instead of the Pentastar, as we looked at. The 5.7-liter Hemi currently makes 375 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque in the muscle cars, the Charger and Challenger RTs. So this GME T6 would have to have an output of between 350 to 400 horsepower as well to be competitive and or potentially knock out the Hemi. I'm hearing the number would be around 370 due to engineering constraints, but will have a wider peak torque band than the 5.7-liter. It would also likely have better gas mileage as well. The displacement would be kept at 2.99 liters due to tax in Europe, as going above 3,000 cubic centimeters adds more tax for drivers in certain countries. We can also expect the Tornado to have the same head design and fuel injection as the Hurricane, with a 10-to-1 compression ratio, and tuned to run on premium 91 octane fuel, but 87 will work thanks to NOx sensors, assisted by electric motors. I'll show some other mechanical specifications that we expect in this engine on screen now. So this Tornado engine might very well be the last new gas engine that Stellantis develops, as they hint towards electrification coming sooner rather than later. There's nothing official from Dodge, but it does seem like Stellantis is moving forward with this GME T6 engine. Ford is leading the way with their EcoBoost technology, so forced induction with these smaller engines could be the path that Dodge/Chrysler go down as well. no naturally aspirated version seems to be in the works. So if you ask me, it looks like Dodge could go down the 4-cylinder route for their base model Charger and Challenger, maybe even with that GME Turbo 2-liter, and then the RT or the next model up from there could have the more powerful GME T6 engine, either offered alongside the existing 5.7-liter Hemi if it gains a hybrid or electric motor somehow, or by possibly replacing it entirely, as it will likely have better fuel economy and more power, so it wouldn't make sense to keep both. The Camaro and Mustang already have 4-cylinder base models, so it shouldn't be surprising if something similar happens for Dodge. I'm sure more information will come out within the coming months. One last thing before the end of the video, the GME T6 will probably be paired with a new ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. Already developed is the brand new 4th gen ZF 880RE, which can have an integrated electric motor. The first 8 means 8 forward gears, the second 8 is the torque rating, which is around 600 pound-feet of torque, which is actually less than the Hellcat's torque rating of 9, and the R&E means that it's suitable for rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive vehicles with fully electronic controls. This is made under license by Chrysler and will be put into new vehicles soon, but the major deal here is that they can be used with up to 160 kilowatts of electric power at 350 volts in plug-in hybrids, or with up to 34 kilowatts of power at 52 volts in mild hybrids. Improvements here include greater mechanical efficiency, integrated power electronics, and an integrated start-off clutch or torque converter, all contributing to slightly higher fuel economy. Apparently, certain versions of this 88RE can also max out at 737 pound-feet of torque. So that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed taking a look at the future of the Dodge Challenger and the possible powertrain. As Kuniskis said, there's probably a divided audience between those who are looking forward to electric vehicles and those who can't stand them. So hopefully things can work out for both parties as we go forward. Anyways, what do you guys think of all this? What do you guys make of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for all your Mopar content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.